Good morning. I'm Chaplain John Rawlison from the Dobbins Air Base Chapel, and thank you so much for joining us for our Advent devotional series. Today's lesson begins with the reading from the Gospel of John, chapter 19, verse 33. But when they came to Jesus and found that he was already dead, they did not break his legs. Another reading from Psalm 34, verse 20. He protects all his bones, and not one of them shall be broken. And now from 2 Peter chapter 1, verse 29. We also have the prophetic message as something completely reliable, and that you will do well to pay attention to, as to a light shining in a dark place until the day dawns and the morning star rises in your hearts. Mel Gibson's 2004 movie The Passion of the Christ stunned the world. It shocked some, offended others, and deeply moved many. One thing the movie did extremely well was showing how terrible it was to be crucified. Crucifixion was the absolute worst way to be executed. Once they were nailed to the cross, or the tree, the victims died slowly. And as their strength gave out, they struggled to raise their bodies to breathe. And after a few days, out of kindness, the executioners might break their legs to quicken their death. So when we think about Jesus suffering on the cross, we might ask what killed him. Well, we now understand that he died by suffocation. But what killed him, the reason he went to the cross, the reason he willingly did this, was to pay the price for our sin. Matthew, Mark, and Luke recorded that 3 hours of darkness descended on the land. So we see that even the weather echoed the injustice of what was happening to Christ. The one person who did not deserve it suffered and died for all who would believe. For us, the cross has become an encouraging and familiar symbol. But in Jesus' time, it was a well-known image of torture. It's easy for us to forget the darkness of that day. I can forget too, until I have a reminder, like reading scripture, as we all do. The Latin for cross is the word crux, C-R-U-X. And in English, crux, C-R-U-X, means something that is vital and decisive and a pivotal point, the crux of the discussion, we might say. The cross was the pivotal moment in God's story. It was a dark day, but the light was rising, a light that can rise in our hearts as well. 2 Peter chapter 1, verse 19. We also have the prophetic message as something completely reliable, and that we will all do well to pay attention to it, as to a light shining in a dark place until the day dawns and the morning star rises in our hearts. I pray this brought you hope and encouragement this morning. Until tomorrow, I'm Chaplain John Rawlison with our Advent Devotional Series.